Got some great guests in the studio with us today. Let's say hello to the members of the Artesia BPA, the Business Professionals Association. Did I get that?
Business Professionals of America.
Of America. Okay. Well, I didn't see an of in there. It's BP of A. It's just BPA. And so we have Kaydee Buckelew. Good morning.
Good morning.
And I'm sorry, Zixi Lee. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. Good to see you today.
Good to see you.
And Anna Loza.
Yes.
Hi, Anna.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Good, and you, sir?
It's Monday, so here we go. What is the BPA group? What is it that, I know it's in the name, Business and Professionals Association, but what is it that you organize and gather together and learn to do?
So, Business Professionals of America empowers students to go into either the business area or all different aspects that involve in business. So we don't only have competitions in accounting, we have competitions in word processing, we have competitions in engineering, which is something that you wouldn't really think is a business part. We also have coding, such as Python and Java. And so we just bring this all into an organization where we can have students competing in and compete at the national level.
Okay. So when you say compete in some of these different categories, what are some of the competitions? You mentioned a few, I think, Anna. What are some of the other competitions?
So just going over some of the first places that we got at state. Some of them are fundamental accounting, fundamental spreadsheet, advanced office, integrated office, financial math and analysis concepts, administrative support concepts, basic office, database, advanced interview, entrepreneurship, business meeting management concepts, and ethics and professionalism.
Okay, so that's a lot of different categories. So when you compete, what is the standard? How are you competing against other teams, or are you competing against a standard, kind of like how the bands compete in some of the other competitions?
With some competitions, it depends. Like database, you have to meet a minimal requirement with the test, and then you can be a finalist and everything. But other competitions, it's just you're competing against a team. You can go up against another team in your school, or you can go up against regionals, which is Carlsbad, Roswell, Hagerman, I believe. And then if you win those, you get to go to states, and that's everyone in the state of New Mexico.
Okay. And that just happened. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So sorry.
No.
But so in the big picture, we compete in 3 different categories. That's being the middle level, which is our middle school students. We compete in the high school, which is your 9th through 12th. And then we compete against post-secondary. For the most part, we compete in secondary division. But at nationals, there's virtual competitions, which is pretty much all 3 groups, as well as the open exams that students can take, which are over different aspects. But so those are competed against all 3 group levels.
Okay. So what's a competition like? So we're going to sit down and have database competition. So what is that competition like? You finished first place, so tell us a little bit about what that is like. Are you all in the room together? Is this a virtual thing? How is this done?
So database is a computer event. So all computer events, we did it a little bit differently this year. So usually we'll have at state, we have everybody that's competing, all the schools that are competing stay in the same hotel, and we'll usually be bussed off campus to a nearby high school, and all the events will be, all the people competing in the same events will be in the same room. This year we did it a bit differently. We just had all the competitions in the hotel conference rooms, and we didn't have the room separated based on event. It was basically whoever had time open, and they would just compete within the same room. But that's how computer events usually work.
Okay, so a database event, what are you given info and have to create a database, or you have to fix a database? What are some of the things in that competition?
So usually in database and similar events like spreadsheet and word processing, you're usually given a set of instructions on how to create a database and how to create a database file, spreadsheet file, Word file. It's basically it's testing your knowledge on what you know how to do, and I mean, you get points based on what you do correctly and what you do wrong.
Okay. And so you get points, and then at the end of the competition, you get your score, and then it goes against everybody else that's competing. Do you get to use your own computers, or do they have computers set up that are pre-checked out?
So everything you pretty much bring to the competition is all yours. So in speaking competitions, you bring your computer, you bring your projector, you bring your screen, extension cords, all that. So as well in your computer applications, you always have to bring your own computer. If you need a mouse, you bring a mouse. Any calculators, pencils, paper, all that is you have to provide that for yourself.
Okay. I wonder if some of the points is how quickly you get your screen set up and how smoothly that presentation goes.
It is worth noting that we usually don't bring our own computers. That's more of a recent thing for with COVID in the past few years. So usually, like I said, we'll get bused over to the high school. They'll have computers set up for us. This year, it's just kind of hard to have a bunch of laptops set up, especially with all these students. You don't know how many people are going to be in each testing room, and it's just too complicated for them to set up. So we provide our own computers this year, but we don't know what it's going to be like.
Now, do you have the Apple versus PC battle, or is everything on the same operating system?
Everything's on the same operating system, really.
Yeah, it's mostly on Windows. I had an issue where I have a MacBook. So database is not something you can or Access, Microsoft Access is not something you can run on Mac OS.
It goes the other way, but it doesn't go.
So you can run all the other Microsoft Office programs, but so what I ended up having to do is I had to run my Access through Parallels, which is a virtual machine program, and I ran Windows 11 on my MacBook using that, so I still had to use Windows.
I know. Windows is irritating sometimes. I came down here yesterday. I had some issues getting something to work, and I looked to see if there were any updates pending, because a lot of times in Microsoft, if the updates are pending, stuff doesn't work. And it said, nope, you're up to date. Well, then why is this not working? So I went ahead and did a reboot, and as soon as it booted up, don't do anything, we're installing updates. And I'm like, wait a minute, you just told me there aren't any updates, and now you're doing updates. And of course, after it all updated, everything started working again. So, and that's just at my limited level. So I get frustrated with a lot of this stuff. So, I'm looking at the sheet here. It looks like we had a lot of first places, second places, and other awards at the state conference, which was February 17th through the 19th. Overall, how did Artesia do in the state competition, would you say?
Well, I mean, right here, under other awards, it says bronze. It says our chapter had a bronze level distinction, but technically that's second place because there is no silver. So Carlsbad High School got first place, and we ended up being second, which is pretty impressive considering we had only 13 members in our chapter go to state this year, and Carlsbad had 21.
So there you go. That's pretty impressive. So do you? Is there cheers? Are there cheerleaders? Did y'all get when the awards are handed out?
We pretty much yell for the crowd. We're sitting. This year, 2 years ago, we sat in the far back corner when we went, and then so this year we got right in front of the stage. We rushed in there 8 o'clock in the morning. And we're we gotta get front row seats. So we went and got the front row seats, and we're there watching everyone just walk up every now and then, and we're just cheering, shouting for each other.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Did everybody kind of look at you what is that bunch doing up there?
Yeah.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you guys did that. So, how many of you then get to go to nationals? Nationals are coming up in Dallas in May. So, how many of you are going to get to go to Dallas?
12 of us
wow.
are officially allowed to go, and we're just waiting to see which members decide that they do want to go, because it is their choice to go to nationals, and sometimes they have other competitions that they want to compete in, like state for sports, or just don't want to go. due to all this. So it really just depends on the student's choice if they want to go or not.
Yeah. So are you representing Artesia or are you representing New Mexico when you go to nationals? How does that work out?
I will be representing New Mexico as a state officer, and then they will be representing Artesia.
Okay. So there could be other New Mexico schools that go to nationals as well?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So have you any of you been to nationals before?
We went virtually. We just so again we've been competing since our sophomore year, and so our sophomore year was the last year it was really in big person. So that year we qualified and everything got shut down, so we didn't go.
Yep.
Last year's was a virtual competition, and we had I don't remember how many members, but we had our whole entire chapter compete at national level.
Yeah.
We had a few that placed. And we're hoping that this year, when we go to nationals, we will place again.
Actually get to go. Have they said where it's going to be in Dallas, or is it just you don't know?
The Sheraton Hotel and the Anatole.
Okay. Well, those are nice. You know, like towels and turn down and chocolates on the pillows. And,
I hope so. I like chocolate.
you know, really expensive things in the fridge there, you know. So
Yeah.
If I could clarify something.
absolutely, sure.
Going to nationals, the way it usually works is in computer events, you usually only have to place top 5, and the way those work, it's not always if you got the second highest score, you're not always going to be second because you have to make a minimum point cutoff usually, and if you don't make that, then you won't be a finalist.
Okay.
And for team events, it's much more complicated. It depends on the event. Sometimes it's top 2 teams get to go. Sometimes it's 3. We don't know unless you're asking about a specific event.
Okay. So, all right, take it you guys want to go to nationals.
Of course.
And go there and compete, and you're finding out how the rest of the group is going to be. Have they told you what events you're going to be competing in at nationals? Kaydee, do you know what you're going to be?
Yes, I got second place. He beat me in database. So I'm going to be competing in database up there.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to be a voting delegate for the national officers and
Okay.
everything. So.
And then Zixi, what are you going to be? What would you like to compete in at nationals?
So, I mean, to clarify, because you choose 2 events.
Okay.
At the beginning of the year, so you compete in those events at regionals, and as long as you keep placing in those in regionals state, you will compete in those same events at nationals.
Okay.
So let's say if you didn't place in regionals, let's say I placed in database but not in spreadsheet, then at state I will only compete in database. You can't compete in an event that you did not place in the previous level.
So since you got a first place in database, that's what you're going to be competing in at the nationals?
Yes, and spreadsheet because I placed second, and computer events it's top 5.
All right. And you got a couple of firsts, Anna, fundamental accounting and fundamental spreadsheet. So has it been decided what you're going to be competing at nationally?
Those 2 events.
Those 2 events, okay.
And hopefully some opens, some open concepts.
Okay. Now, being in BPA, is there a plan for after high school? Do you see being in BPA as helping you decide what you're going to do when you graduate, or is this just something that you're doing right now?
BPA really has helped all of us. I believe I speak for everyone, but it has helped all our members and everyone. Each of these competitions, whether we place in our competitions or in our concepts, are all things that we can put in our resume. For me, the fundamental accounting is the career that I want to go into after high school. So through learning how to run Excel, through learning Access, through learning how to publicly speak to other people and the accounting competition, those are all that will benefit me after high school.
Absolutely. Suchi, how about you? Have you thought about what you'd like to do after you graduate? You're a senior, so that's counting down the days.
I don't have anything too specific in mind because I change my mind all the time, and I don't like talking about it unless I have my mind set on it. But
okay.
It is worth noting that Anna mentioned this earlier. There's a post-secondary level for BPA, so it's not just a high school thing.
Okay.
beyond high school, there are events in certain universities and colleges that where you can do BPA events. Obviously, you'll be only competing against other people in the post-secondary level, but it's something that stays with you beyond high school.
Yeah, that's great. And then being the junior in the bunch, Kaydee, have you even thought about after high school yet, or?
I have thought about a couple of things, and really I'm just doing competitions that I know will help me out in the future. So database will really help me out with organizing data and everything, and I know I can get good jobs with that in mind. And then right now I'm just setting up everything, so whenever I'm a junior, hopefully I will have a plan.
Well, maybe you could help us out. These machines right here, believe it or not, this is Windows XP running this software over here. And one of these days we're going to upgrade it to Windows 7? No. And so, yeah, we might need a little help with some of that transferring and upgrading and something like that. You'll always find something to do. That's pretty exciting. You want to stick around here in New Mexico, or do you want to move off someplace else? I bet at your age, I bet you can't wait to get out of town, right?
Yes.
No, I understand. I did the same thing. I left, and I'm here. So what's that say for me? Well, what else do we want to talk about? Is there? Do you guys meet on a regular basis? Is there? If anybody's interested, if you have fellow students, or if there's parents listening that have kids that are in school, what level? You have to be in high school to join BPA?
Yes, because we only have the secondary level at the high school.
Okay.
And so our meetings are normally once a month, and we meet during lunch, which since we're off campus, we can just leave whenever. And so those students that choose to stay can just come in and walk in the meeting at the beginning of the year. Normally our meetings start September, October. And so we just announce it, come in. But we do have a deadline as to when members can join. I believe it's around the 1st or 15th of November.
Okay.
And so by that time, it's finalized that we can't bring in any more members, but you can, whoever registered just competes.
Okay. Now, do you, is there anything like DECA? Do you do internships? Do you do any work in the private sector outside of school that helps you out? I don't see any answers coming from that, so I take it that's never.
It really depends if you. It really depends. Like I myself, I did get an internship through with the help of BPA and other sources, and I do work an internship, but it really depends on the members and how outgoing they will be and how far they're willing to go.
Okay, so it's not a specific function of BPA, but it's something that can help you if something out there is like that. So.
Yes.
Well, great. Well, is there anything else we need to talk about today? Was there anything else on the agenda that we needed to cover?
We'd like to announce, one of the main reasons why we came today is because we'd like to announce during our state conference, we took Kaydee as our candidate from Artesia, and upon going to state, she campaigned, she gave speeches, she went and met with everyone and explored, and she has been elected a state officer.
Yes, I am New Mexico's Vice President of Correspondence.
So good. What will your role be? Is that for a year?
Yes, that is for next year. And I will just be helping out the officers with going around and getting more people interested in BPA and gaining more members in our program.
Well, emailing the radio station was a good start because it got the interview on here. So what was your campaign tactic? Did you have a slogan?
Yes.
You did.
Actually, Zixi came up with a better one that I had, but the one I did was for a brighter future, vote for Kaydee. But come on, Zixi, tell us what beautiful slogan you had planned.
It was buckle up with Buckelew.
Hey, I like that. And you could have handed out belt buckles or something like that.
He tells me now.
Well, that's great. So, because you had to campaign, right? You had to go around and you had to meet people. And does that meeting people in an environment like that? I guess you get a little nervous.
Oh yes, I got very, very nervous. Our chapter was able to sit behind me, all of the candidates and the campaign manager, which is basically just emotional support. They sit in like the front row, of everything so they can get to the stage faster, of course. And my chapter decided to sit right behind, and one member kept kicking my chair for the entire thing.
A member who will remain anonymous, right?
Yes, I feel like that would be a smart idea. But I know that our advisor, Ms. Humble, is showing that class that that specific member is in right now. So that member right now is probably red with embarrassment.
You know who you are. They probably did that on an airplane when they were a kid, you know, just kick the seat in front of them,
Yes,
you know.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. These two know exactly what member I'm talking about, too.
I'm not sure I do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know either.
Oh, it's just us on, you know, there's nobody listening or anything
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Oh
You
my
can share
goodness.
it with, it's just the four of us. No, you don't have to. She's going to point it on the piece of paper, so.
Oh.
Now they remember.
But it worked. It helped. I mean.
It did keep my mind off of it. I was trying to keep my chair
Yeah.
still instead of pushing it forward and me falling.
Yeah.
That would have been a very good impression, I think.
Well, you could have then turned that into a roll and then jumped up and said,
Ta-da!
ta-da, I'm here. Vote for me. Well, that's good. So, congratulations on winning that, and good luck in the Nationals in Dallas. Has BPA, has that group won a state title in the past?
State title, yes. In 2019, we had the Artesia chapter win state.
Okay.
And
So are they on the water tower then?
I
They better be.
don't think they are.
They better be. Of course, what would your emblem be?
A calculator. No.
Yes.
A business suit, maybe?
I like it. That'd be a great spreadsheet, you know.
A spreadsheet?
Yeah, there we go.
Picture of Bill Gates, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I see.
Bill Gates or Steve Jobs?
I said Steve Jobs.
I say we don't give free advertising.
Well, you know, that's true. Unless they pay us, right?
Yeah.
Unless they do a sponsorship deal, then I agree with you entirely. That's probably for the best. Well, good. Well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate this. We'll have to have you come in from time to time and just kind of talk about what's going on in upcoming competitions. Maybe a little bit before you go to Dallas, and then when you get back from Dallas, and
of course.
give us an update on that. That'd be good.
Thank
All right,
you.
and congratulations. I know you got beat by Carlsbad, but second place is not bad when you compare the whole state of New Mexico. That's pretty good and then congratulations on your election, Kaydee, for Vice President of Correspondence.
Yes.
VPOC. So we can come up with all kinds of acronyms for you and all that.
Don't
all right,
give them ideas.
all right, anything else we need to cover today? Think we got it all?
I think
All right,
we got it.
Aunt Anna Loza, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sushi Lee, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And Kaydee Buckelew, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Stay in touch. Keep corresponding.
Of course, I will.
All right. Thanks a lot.